welcome back to Daytime. Well, she's a woman who used to set herself on fire, and now she's a best-selling author. Susan Kearney is here to talk about her sexy paranormal novels and how she went from a businesswoman to a full-time writer. Well, you're still a businesswoman, aren't you, being a full-time writer, aren't you, Susan?
Yes, it is a business.
It certainly is.
Yeah, we tend to stay and type in our little cubby holes, and then we come out to promote the books, so we have to be able to write and talk about them.
You have to do your own marketing, right?
That's right.
And I have to ask, I mentioned that you used to set yourself on fire.
Yes.
Explain that for me.
I was a diver in college. I was a 3-time All-American for the University of Michigan. And when I got out of school, I did shows in amusement parks across the country, and we had fire dives, and we would light ourselves on fire, and it was spectacular. We'd jump off the tower, or dive off the tower, and then we'd hit the water, and the flames would go out.
Wow. And
Yeah.
apart from diving and doing shows like that, you had other businesses as well, right?
Yes, I've had a barter business, and I do real estate also. And all of these life experiences end up in my books.
All along, were you writing?
No, I didn't even think about writing till my children were on a swim team, and I was reading, and I decided that I could do this and it would be fun. And it started out as a hobby, and I joined Romance Writers of America and learned the craft of writing, and then I started submitting, and when I sold, it became a career.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. How did you do it? Romance Writers of America. Was that a good place to go for people who are thinking, I think I can do this, but I'm not quite sure?
Yes, that is the premier organization in this country, and they have about 9,000 aspiring authors. There's about 1,600 published authors. There's a local chapter in Tampa. It's called Terra Era Romance Writers, and you can look it up on the internet, and they meet once a month, and they bring in speakers who will teach you dialogue, character, plotting, and you can learn from experts.
Well, you kept me up late last night with your book, The Quest.
Okay.
Because it's a mix of paranormal, which I didn't think I'd really get into, and romance.
Well, you know...
And erotica, I think.
You've been talking about what happened 100 years ago on this show. Well, 100 years ago, people are imagining, what if I could fly? Well, now everyone can fly in an airplane. But now, in this day and age, we're thinking of other things that we can do. And you see it in the TV, you see it in the movies, and it has carried over into the books. And the paranormal romance market is growing. It is absolutely huge.
We're looking at actually a video trailer for the book. Is that something brand new that people are doing now?
Yes, this is by Circle of Seven Productions, and it is to advertise the book on the internet. Now, obviously, we don't have the multi-million dollars that the big movies do, but they do a really good job with the CGI and the actors, and it's to advertise the book, and they play on my website, and a lot of people come there and they look at it, and then they decide that they're going to pick up the book and read it.
Cool.
Yeah.
So paranormal, would you say that your books are a little racier than most, say, Harlequin romances, perhaps?
Romance is a huge industry. It's a $1 billion industry, and half of all paperbacks sold in this country are romances. And within the romances, there are genres. There's romantic suspense, there are historicals, there's contemporary, and there's paranormals. The paranormals tend to be sexier.
Yeah, yes. I can vouch for that.
Well, I think that they let your imagination fly, and you can imagine people who have powers that we don't have, and that's what the paranormal is, and that's why it's so much fun, because you can let your imagination go.
And you did. Wow.
Yes,
and have you written 44 books now? Did you just keep churning the ideas just keep coming to you?
The ideas are really the easy part. What's the hard part is crafting it and making it all track and all go together. It's easy to have an idea, but sometimes it's difficult to make a character sympathetic. For example, in one of my sexier books, it's called The Ultimatum, was out last February, the heroine has to make love to regenerate her cells or she dies. Ooh. That is her alien biology. And to make a character like that sympathetic is difficult, because we look at her past and we look at what she's had to do to just to stay alive. And so what I did was I tied that biology to her survival. And you find out that when the men in this race die, the women also die. And she's a scientist, and she's trying to break that cycle. And that makes her sympathetic, because we can understand that. Even though it's paranormal, we take all our human foibles and frailties and all the good things with us wherever we go. And that's what makes it interesting.
It's very interesting. Wow. Thank you, Susan Kearney, very much. And these are some of your other books as well.
Yes.
Beyond the Edge, The Dare, The Ultimatum, The Challenge. You're out there.
Right, and The Quest is out there now.
Good stuff. Thank you very much. As she said, Quest is in bookstores now. We will be right back. There's a look at The Quest, and he's hot on the cover.
Yes, he is.